That sweeping new plan to fight COVID. President Biden, a short time ago, unveiling his newest effort to get a hold of this pandemic, to get millions of Americans vaccinated. And of course, it comes as the Delta variant sweeps across the country, crippling hospitals. 1 in 4 new cases of COVID now in children, and 1,000 people dying every day. The president warning Americans we're in a tough stretch and that it could last for a while. The president taking executive action to get more people vaccinated. Most federal workers and contractors now must get vaccinated. Millions of healthcare workers, not just nursing homes now, but hospitals and home health care as well. The president also ordering companies with 100 or more employees to now require workers to be vaccinated or be tested weekly. The president showing his frustration with the nearly 80 million Americans still unvaccinated. And on booster shots tonight, those third shots, the president said he wanted to clear up any confusion out there. He said the decision is in the hands of the CDC and the FDA. And as soon as those booster shots have been authorized, he said, they've already been ordered up. They'll be ready to go. Tonight here, the numbers, 73% of people 12 and older have now had at least one shot. And the president tonight also taking aim at passengers you've seen on those flights, berating flight crews and fellow passengers over masks. He said, show flight attendants some respect, revealing the TSA will now double fines against passengers who refuse to wear masks. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman leading us off from California.
Faced with a relentless Delta variant and 80 million unvaccinated Americans, President Biden late today laying out a sweeping strategy to lead the country out of the pandemic.
We're in the tough stretch, and it could last for a while.
The president unveiling that new emergency rule.
I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week.
In addition to those companies with more than 100 employees, the plan extends the vaccine requirement beyond nursing homes to include workers at hospitals and home health care workers. The president also announcing that all executive branch and contract workers must get vaccinated, and that all companies with 100 or more workers must give paid time off to workers so they can get vaccinated. President Biden taking aim at what he calls pandemic politics. Governors and local officials in some parts of the country who are not encouraging vaccinations and masking. He said he'll work around them.
If these governors won't help us beat the pandemic, I'll use my power as president to get them out of the way.
The president even taking aim at those airline passengers refusing to mask up, saying they'll face double fines.
If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. And by the way, show some respect. The anger you see on television toward flight attendants and others doing their job is wrong.
And tonight in Los Angeles, another major push to vaccinate. LA's school district is set to become the first major district in the country to require vaccines for students 12 and older attending school in person.
The bottom line is if they don't get vaccinated and they don't have a valid medical exemption, they can't go to school.
They can't go to school in person. This is new because we're in a global, once-in-a-century pandemic, but it's not new that we require vaccinations to keep other kids safe.
Across the country, just 38% of teens between 12 and 17 are vaccinated. And the unvaccinated in that age group are 10 times more likely to be hospitalized. One of them was 15-year-old Victoria Ramirez from Florida. She and her family were unvaccinated when she got COVID, passing away from complications. Victoria's dad said she used to wear a mask to school, but that they aren't required there.
No more masks! No more masks!
The debate over masks in schools turning ugly. In Tennessee, teenager Grady Knox trying to make the case for masks.
I'm worried about my family. If I get COVID, I'm going to bring it to my family.
Only to be cruelly mocked by the crowd when he shared how his grandmother, a former teacher, had died of COVID.
My grandmother, who was a former teacher at the Rutherford County School System, died of COVID because someone wasn't wearing a mask. This is a very
Hey guys, we're here to act professional.
In some southern states, infections and hospitalizations are leveling off, but they are climbing in states to the north.
The country is still going to be in deep trouble for the rest of the year, although the worst affected areas are going to shift.
We're going to be watching this closely. Let's get right to Matt tonight because, Matt, the president also brought up booster shots. The president had said that they would be ready to go by September 20th, but he made it clear late today that this is in the hands of the FDA, the CDC, but that when these shots are authorized, the federal government will be ready.
David, the president assuring Americans that they will be ready, that they've purchased enough of those booster shots for all eligible Americans, and that the administration will be ready to administer those shots at tens of thousands of sites across the country for free in the coming days. That includes pharmacies and drugstores. As you mentioned, he is leaving the decision of who should get those boosters and when entirely up to the CDC and the FDA. David.
All right, Matt Gutman tonight. Matt leading us off. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.